Well, I just installed that lit switch. I took a regular paddle single pole switch out and installed that lit switch. That's not part of this video though. You can see that on my channel. I was waiting to actually get back out here and do some more work. And oh, I've got, next time I do a switch, I'll install a three-way lighted switch. And then look at this. Here's a dimmer switch, and this is a three-way. I can hook it up single pole or three-way, and I'm going to use this as a three-way. I didn't even know I could do that. And I think you have to buy a dimmer that says three-way. Okay? I'll do that another time. I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to work. But for this particular video, I'm going to lay down some Tyvek paper, Tyvek wrap, home wrap. I'm actually going to put it on the floor. Put it on the floor? It's not designed to be installed on the floor. I know it's not. But that's what I'm going to do. And I've already put some roofing, mastic, flooring, goop, whatever you want to call it. And I've already put that down here. I've done it at least 4 different coats, maybe 5, and I went around the edges with the webbing tape and all that kind of stuff. This is all like a layer of rubber now. And it should be fine when I get ready to install these concrete pavers back down, but I want to be extra fine. So I thought I would put some Tyvek paper wrap, home wrap down. And I was reading on it. It gives you an air barrier and a water barrier, specifically when you're installing it on walls before you install stucco, let's say, or before you install exterior siding, stuff like that. And I'm actually doing a water test. They said it doesn't hold, it's not waterproof, but check this out. I've had this water right here on top of this bucket for 2 days, and I've already done one test for 1 day. I pulled it back up. The bucket was dry as a bone, and I'm letting this set for another 5 or 6 days. I want to leave it here for at least a week and see if this water is going to leak through here. This has microscopic little pockets of air. It's designed to breathe, but yet it's designed to hold the water out, specifically when the water is coming down a wall. If it gets leaked, if your stucco leaks, your siding leaks, you know how water driplets on a brand new car or windshield, sometimes it rolls off in driplets, just little water droplets. Well, that's what this stuff does when it's on here. But I want to put it down here on the floor because that's going to be an added barrier for when the water comes through these concrete pavers. It's going to hit that barrier first, and it's going to flow out. If it leaks and eventually penetrates through this and gets down on the floor, that's fine too, because that's where I got my primary flooring material down. This is so that if my floor ever gets some dips and valleys in it, and if the water stays there for weeks on end, let's say in the winter, and it starts, hopefully it doesn't start affecting and tearing apart this flooring material that I put down, because this is supposed to act like a rubbery base. Okay, it's designed to be put on flat roofs, right over existing flat roofs, as a matter of fact. So I've coated this at least 5 times with the roller and rolled it down, so it's pretty thick. And I built up this area over here. I had a little bit of a low spot over here, and my concern was, if that water sits there for weeks on end, is it going to eat through this floor? No way for me to tell unless I crawl underneath the floor, you know, a year from now after the winter, and see if it's gotten damaged and if it's failed. Well, I don't want to and if it has failed, what do I have to do? Pull the floor back up and then go about and fixing it? So that's why I want to put the Tyvek paper down too, just as an added barrier. Okay, that's my thought. Most people would probably say, yeah, that's not going to work, don't do it. It's just going to help, that's all. So I did a water test earlier because this was low. I built this up a little bit and I got it so that there's hardly any water that stands right here, maybe about a 1/16 of an inch right in this area. That's the best I could do with the existing conditions. And so I thought, one more reason why to put this Tyvek paper down. I want to call it paper, but it's really not paper. It's Tyvek paper. It's Tyvek wrap, home wrap. I've already cut it to fit. I believe I've got it cut this way. Ooh, and that's the other thing. They said it's slippery. And if you walk on it, it's slippery. You got to be careful with that too. And I've already cut it. I kind of get it to match in here. And can you see that? That once that is down, that's going to help. It's got to. And what I could even do is, they say, see, this is that Tyvek home wrap, the miracles of science. They say that this breeze, well, what I could do even is right in this area where the water was low, I could even coat that with that roofing material. If I wanted, it probably would stick to this. And I'm gonna end up doing something around the edges to this. I've got to decide what exactly I'm gonna do here, because I'm thinking about sealing it around the edges with my cloth, just like I did the roofing material. Because if any water comes down this column and goes down, it could, this is going to be down tight like that. It could slip down behind the brick, and then the water could get underneath here at this point. If it does, granted, it's going to go down. But if I can seal that, the more the better, right? And if I could seal right in there, the water coming down the face of this column, on right here, all that water coming down on the floor. If I can put that webbing there and have it up tight, most of that water is going to come down behind the brick, the brick paver, concrete paver, and then the water is going to hit on this, isn't it? And then it's just going to flow down this way, right? And then it's going to go out of those weep holes. So why not put this down on the floor? This is like I'm going to call this a secondary. This could almost be your primary, and the flooring underneath could be secondary. You could call them the very opposite. So that's my thought, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to do it. Nobody can tell me not to. That's what I'm going to do. Here's something else I want to install. I want to put a hook on here so that Mommy can hang her robe behind the door here. That's what she wanted. She didn't want to have it anywhere else. And we went to the store to try to find hooks, and the hooks are really short and they're not long. This is an 8-foot tall door, and I wanted a hook that was kind of long. And I looked and looked and looked at the store, and I found this. And I says, hey, how about this? Got it from Pier 1. I said, how about this? And She said, okay, let's use that. But it's set up for an 1 3/4 door, not an 1 3/8 door. This see, this is a hook. This is a wreath hanger, and it's 1 3/4 because it's designed for front doors. Hang that on the front door, and most front doors are 1 3/4 thick. But we're not going to use that for the front door. We're going to put it up here. But I didn't want to have it all sloppy and going back and forth. So I've got a way to fix that, and I'm anxious to see if it's going to work. And when I make it, I'll make it on video. Don't worry. I'll show you how to do it. And I was racking my head on how am I going to make this work? And I think I've come up with a solution. So I'm going to be making that video sometime here in the near future. So watch for it on my channel.